Welcome back. So with two campaigns now mired in controversy this morning, how do both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump handle tomorrow night's debate?
Well, Scott Jennings is a Republican strategist and a veteran of 4 presidential campaigns. He's prepped candidates for the debate stage in the past, and he joins us now. Holy smokes, Scott. If you had to deal with this weekend going into this debate, I mean, how does Donald Trump come out and have to be able to try to talk about the economy? He's going to have to be on the defensive, it would seem, almost this entire debate Sunday night.
Yeah, he was already going to have to deal with the Miss Universe controversy and also the New York Times tax story, which now seems like an ancient memory. And now we're going to throw this Friday night audio tape dump onto the fire here that's burning. I think one way to deal with it would be to make a speech in advance. I don't think he can hide out for the rest of the weekend. I'm not sure this video that they released is going to cut it. So in order to try to take it out of the debate to some degree, making a speech, not off a teleprompter, but from the heart today might be an answer for Trump.
Yeah, so it's a town hall style debate, something that Donald Trump is comfortable with. He's done this a number of times, a more intimate setting. You're even going to have questions from the audience. You say he's got to control this debate even better than last time. How does he do that?
Yeah, he's got to keep this thing focused on the economy and jobs and things that affect people's everyday lives. Unfortunately, last night's story is going to make that even harder than it already was.
Right.
But if you look back at the last debate, the first 30 minutes, they were talking about trade and jobs, and he sort of owned it, and then he kind of lost it for the last 2/3 of the debate. He's got to control the flow of it throughout. He can't let the last half of it or any portion of it get away from him. And it's only 90 minutes, and so now if you spend 30 or 45 minutes litigating recent controversies, it's going to make it extremely hard. That's why I think maybe a speech in advance may be warranted here to try to take some of that out of the debate so that he can spend more time on jobs and other important issues.
Now, what does Hillary Clinton do? Of course, we also learned overnight WikiLeaks and the release of these Wall Street speeches that she was giving. First of all, how does she handle the Trump side of this? If you were advising Hillary Clinton this morning, do you just say, just stand there and don't say anything and let him deal with this? Or do you tell her to go on the attack?
I would probably let someone in the audience deal with it or the moderator deal with it if I were Hillary Clinton. I think sometimes the best option is just to stay away from it to some degree. I think where she's going to try to press back is probably on the New York Times tax story, because she knows if this thing turns to the concept of trade and creating jobs, she's on shakier ground. And so I would expect her to let other people handle the stories about his comments on women. And she's probably going to try to press the attack on A, whether he pays federal income taxes, and B, whether he's as good a businessman as he says he is. If you look at some of the polling on the issue sets, he's still beating her on the issue of who's better for the economy.
Right.
And so in order to fix that issue set, she's got to try to puncture it with the New York Times story that came out several days ago.
He's got to keep going back to the economy. How important is it for Trump to have a presidential moment tomorrow night?
Well, it's very important, and of course, a presidential moment now clearly centers around him taking some responsibility for the comments and not off of a teleprompter. The debate is good in that sense for Trump. It gives him the chance to speak from the heart and try to show some contrition for what is being said about him and what the tapes say. So that's a good thing. But boy, you have to get it right. It's like trying to slip through the eye of a needle here. And he's going to have to do something he really hasn't done in this campaign, and that's show humility and contrition for bad stuff. Yeah.
Everyone's going to be watching this debate very closely tomorrow night.
Yeah, Scott, thanks so much.